Peace, Eli. Peace, my brother. Peace, peace, peace in the nine of the one. I appreciate y'all for being here with me, for choosing this particular transmission. Yeah. Like the live, share the live. Give gifts only if you feel called to. I appreciate you. Let's get right. Wow. Definitely wanted to leave the topic open for those who might want to talk about something specific, but I definitely also wanted to talk about relationships today. I wanted to switch it up a little bit and talk about relationships, talk about love, talk about unions romantically, right? So if we do have any questions about relationships, we could drop them in the comments. Until we have a question, I'll just start to go off like I usually do. And how I feel about these, about relationships, romantic relationships specifically, and love and counterparts and the mirror, right, that we have with other human beings, whether it be a woman or a man, whatever it is your preference. Just love overall. In the old dimension and then the new, just words, right? Peace, 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 gratitude, right? We obviously we know. Hold on, let me turn it. I know it's about to get hot. Okay. All right. So we already know on a spiritual level we attract romantically. Peace, peace, peace in the now. We know on a spiritual level we attract romantically the partner that we need, to learn what we need to learn in the mirrors. Also, guys, there's gift goals and things like that. The TikTok changed around the way that gifts are given, and I don't know, they just changed things around. So if you guys want to support me that way, you can support me that way. Let's go. So we already know that, like, when it comes to romantic relationships, and any relationship, but specifically romantic relationships, we attract a partner that is directly a mirror of what we are, and I think we get more of a glimpse of who we are in a deeper way in a romantic relationship when we're with someone. They quite literally mirror back all the parts of you that you like hide and you don't want to show. And this is where a lot of, I think, the friction comes into play when it comes to having a romantic partner. The not wanting to be completely, fully transparent and honest with your partner, due to fear, right? Everything's due to fear and not being accepted. And we might have had a lot of trauma growing up when it comes to abandonment issues and these feelings of not being worthy of someone. And a lot of these feelings tend to come from parents or friends when we were younger, or even like romantic relationships when we were younger. And then they just bleed over into our romantic relationships when we're at an older age, right? So I noticed that dynamic, and I also noticed that we are in our heads a lot when it comes to our romantic relationships. We don't really show ourselves fully. We want to, but I don't think we feel 100% comfortable showing ourselves fully in romantic relationships. And I think that's the reason why we're in these relationships, is to show ourselves fully to the person, to see if they truly accept us, see if they truly accept the version of them that you're showing them through you, right? So it's an interesting dynamic, and a lot of us on the surface of it, we get into these relationships because of the surface reality, right? Like we see someone, is your partner accepting of my partner shares my beliefs? My partner has the same belief systems as me. Of course, she has her own, thoughts and stuff about reality, but for the most part, she was already a spiritual person before we met, right? So she was already on that type of time. And if she wasn't, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. Energetically, it wouldn't work, because eventually you're going to want somebody that's on the spiritual level that you're on, right? You want somebody that shares your morals and your beliefs and things like that. That's what we all want, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifts. I really, really appreciate you. I really, really do. Right? So we want somebody, especially in a romantic partner, that's going to share our belief systems, because if you're going to have children with this person, if you're going to, marry this person potentially in this realm, you're going to want to, it's just going to be a clash, even with political beliefs and shit like that. Like that's a big thing in these heightened times of energy and what people believe about reality. I know some people can't send gifts, man. It's unfortunate. I don't know what's going on with TikTok, but if you guys want to hit the Cash App with $1 or something like that, I don't know, whatever you feel like you're called to do. Here we go. So, yeah, on the surface of the reality, like, I'm a man, you know what I mean? So, like, I enjoy beautiful women. I enjoy just beauty. Like, women to me are a gift, man. They're a gift. They can be frustrating, don't get me wrong. Like, they could be annoying, so to speak, from my perspective. Love them, but they just operate differently. Emotionally, they operate differently. The way that they are downloading emotional information is far deeper than us men. So they feel way deeper than us. So we can't, if you're not in touch with your feminine energy as a man, then you won't be able to understand how deeply they really feel. And it can become very frustrating to deal with that, because it'll seem like everything that you say or whatever it is that you're trying to express seems to be too aggressive for them, or seems to be too masculine, almost, really, to be honest, because they're very sensitive. So, and we don't really take that into account. We we're just very manly for the most part, right? So women can be very sensitive to that energy, but at the same time, they're attracted to it. So it's like kind of weird. They're attracted to that manly energy, but at the same time, it kind of scares them almost. Some women lean more into their masculine, just like some men lean more into their feminine. There's no right or wrong. It's just your preference, I guess, right? But here we go, back to the conversation, right? So, we initially get into these relationships on the surface of the reality, like, oh, you look good, or for women is what you can provide, and for men it's how you look, and how you smell and all that good stuff. So on the surface, and then we get into these relationships initially, and then we have these energies back and forth, and then things start to get a little weird. What I mean by weird is that you start to uncover things about this person that the surface wasn't telling you. Like, you weren't able to see them with depth, because you were very vain in the reason why you wanted to be with this person, right? So that's what happens in the beginning. You learn to love those aspects of that person, but then beyond the surface of, oh, this person looks good, then the soul starts to creep in, right? The soul starts to creep in. It's like, I knew you would find this person attractive. I knew that you would get into a relationship with this person. I also knew that this person was sent to teach you, right? So, like I said, the soul already knows. The soul knows what you like as the human, and knows it knows already. So you attract those types of people. Do you have friendships with individuals that are intertwined with the mundane? I would say yes and no. To be honest with you, you guys hear from me more than anybody in my life hears from me. Anybody in my physical incarnation hears from me. I find that I don't really hold the same, like, you guys are my friends. Like, I have friends in this reality, but they're mostly from my old story. And we talk, here and there, and we build here and there, but for the most part, I'm on my journey. So, you know, y'all are more my soul family. Like this is why, but this is why I told you guys before we were spread far and wide, right? And we were, I know the topic's starting to go off, but whatever. We were spread far and wide, okay, because we were too powerful. I had a live session with 360 the Alchemist, and he came in, and when he came in, well, it's like the entire earth shifted, the entire reality shifted just from me and him being on the live together, right? So it showed me that, yeah, this is why the gods on earth had to be spread out far and wide, because us being together, just all being in the same city, would have been just way too much power. All being in the same state, in the same vicinity, it would have been way too much power, right? So that's what I gathered from just reality in life. And that's why we found each other through the internet, because you had to be in Wyoming, you had to be in California, you had to be in China, we had to be spread, because our light was just way too powerful. And then, like I told you guys before, we incarnated in families that were more karmic, that were more lower vibratory energy, so that we can go through those lessons to ultimately find the family that resonates with us on a soul level. You guys are the antithesis of each other, but it's such an empowering connection. Indeed. Right. So yeah, man, like this is really what it is at the end of the day. And there's a Earth, Wind and Fire song that quite literally captures this experience perfectly. I think it's called Victory. I want to say it's called Victory. No, it's called Fantasy. Fantasy, yes, fantasy. You guys will go listen to Fantasy by Earth, Wind and Fire, right? Brilliant. And they were already telling us years ago what it was going to be, right? You know what I mean? For real. You know what I mean? So you guys go listen to that song, man, Earth, Wind and Fire, Fantasy. It's gonna you're gonna be like, what the fuck? They were saying this in the 70s. It's gonna also give you an understanding about how time is truly an illusion, and how there's a timeless wisdom, a timeless knowledge that goes beyond the trends of each era. And each era, I know we were talking about relationships, but you know how it goes off topic sometimes. The trend of each era. So the 70s, 80s, 90s, yeah, there's earthly trends, but then there are universal understandings, wisdoms that exist throughout time that are constants beyond what the humans are doing trend-wise and changing, and words and, you know, ideas and clothing and just trends in general that the humans have been going through in a linear way. There is wisdom that overlays that is timeless, right? So you can hear different teachers throughout time that speak the same way, right? That are saying the same things just in a different way, right? Been there too, right? Here we go. Okay. So back to relationships until we get put into another reality. I don't mind jumping back and forth. I don't mind. Like the live, share the live, give gifts if you feel called to. This is a picture of me in Kemet in 2023. Man, thank the universe, thank the innerverse for it all, man, and for the fact that I'll be there again in not too long. Not too long. Here we go. Yeah, so, man, like, I think there's this ongoing beef it's just energetically ongoing beef with men and women, like, that I'm seeing, especially on the internet. There's like a back and forth and how men are supposed to be. Thank you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for existing. Like a weird beef, like, that's ongoing, because there is a trend within our reality when it comes to men and women, and how kind of like the roles have been going, because there is a trend within our reality when it comes to men and women, and how kind of like the roles have been going, because there is a trend within our reality when it comes to men and women, and how kind of like the roles have been going, because there is a trend within our reality when it comes to men and women, and how kind of like the roles have been versed in the I know I was on the phone. I had a phone call. I took it on my laptop so you couldn't hear me. So I had to mute you guys. Here we go. Man. Yeah, so there's this ongoing, so I had to mute you guys. Here we go. Man. Yeah, so there's this ongoing, there's this ongoing weird beef. All right, here we go. Sorry. Phone calls. It's my sister, actually. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, man. I get it, though. You know what I mean? I get it. I really do. Because me personally, I want a traditional woman. You know what I mean? I have a traditional woman. Um, you know, I'm a man from on earth, obviously, living the man, the life of a man. And I want a submissive woman. I want a woman that, that follows my lead. Not saying that I'm a dictator, not at all. But I have a vision, and my vision is so potent, and it was placed in me for a reason. And this is not to say that your vision doesn't count in any way, shape, or form, and that I won't take counsel from you. But as a man, I want to take the lead. I want to take the charge because that's just the nature of the body. That's the nature of me, right? On earth. And, thankfully I do have that. And there are problems in between because that's just the nature of relationships. There are problems where her vision might be a little more just dominant in her mind, right? To where she feels as if, hey, look, now, like, I want to do it this way. I want to do it this way. And I'm like, all right, hey, you know what? Let's do it your way then. Just to see, right? If let me be open to your vision and see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say what it does either. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, it's like, hey, look, you end up realizing, hey, like, I had a vision that was above. I was looking in bird's eye view on particular things that sometimes that you can't see. And the same with her. Like, she looking in on things that I can't see, and I take counsel from it. Like, oh, okay, you know what? Boom. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, just for instance, right? We'll be going somewhere. We have somewhere to go, and she'll be me in the reverse. Like, yo, like, you need to relax. Like, everything's gonna be good. We're good. Like, you rushing and, like, you know what I mean? So sometimes she'll lead in that way. You know what I mean? And but for the most part, I'm the leader. You know what I mean? I'm the king in my reality. And as it should be from my perspective, that's what I believe. That I came to earth to do a particular thing. And you guys are seeing it, you're witnessing it, what it is my mission is. Right? And from my perspective, any woman would be grateful to be a part of that. Hello, I've seen that you offer one-on-one. What does that entail? It entails anything that you need to speak about, whether it be a spiritual thing, a counseling session, blockchain technology, and cryptocurrency. If you want to learn about investing in that way, hard assets, tokenization, and things like that. So whatever it is that you want to speak about, if you believe I have the validity to be able to speak about it, book the one-on-one session. Peace. Gratitude. Thank you, Eli. I love you, man. Yeah. So, but relationships are like that, and everybody has their own vision. We're all individuals, and I do believe that in America, this is the problem with the dynamics of relationships with when it comes to men and women in America is because I believe that society has pushed women to be they pushed women to be very independent, and in that independence they've, from my perspective, forgotten their nature, right? Their nature is to be able to relax, to take care of things, to be able to, you know what I'm saying, do the things that men can't do because we're too busy building for the family, so to speak, right? That's what we want to do. But if women are taking that role, men feel inadequate, right? We feel like we're not doing what we're supposed to do. And at the same time, it's like women want us to be men. They want us to take the charge. But at the same time, they don't want to feel like they're being left behind in their own world. They don't want to feel like they are losing themselves in the relationship, right? But women past didn't care about things like that. They were like, I'm not tripping on losing myself, but I'm gaining a family. I'm gaining a husband, a life, a provision, and that's what women cared about. But if I feel like, and this is not to down the women, I'm just coming from a man's perspective and what we perceive within the reality, right? Now it's as if, okay, women want us to be the traditional man, to take care and provide, but at the same time, they want to have their careers and they want to still be a bright light within their reality, which is granted, that's amazing, and I get it. But you can't have both almost. It's like you can't, because in the world of business, in the world of finance, in the world of creation, that takes a level of emotion, a level of hardness too, almost, right? It takes a level of like, no, you're not going to play me energy. And that energy can leak into, right? It can leak into your relationship, right? So if you have a businessman and a businesswoman and they're together, it rarely works because the businesswoman has to be more manly within the business and it tends to leak into the relationship. And then the man doesn't feel like a man anymore. He's like, wait, what? Like, nah, you're being too much like you are at work. And that's what men are feeling overall, right? Also, since we are in an era where it's hard for the average man to provide for an entire household as opposed to having the man and the woman work, women are beginning to feel like, I'm too tired to do the woman stuff. It's not like the old days where you can go out, work, and provide and afford to be able to take care of the whole household. Now I have to go to work. And since I have to go to work to help you provide, I'm starting to feel like a man energetically, right? So I get that too. So I get all the dynamics. I'm watching from a bird's eye view these dynamics play out like the live, share the live, give gifts if you feel called to. The rich bounce ideas off of each other. Their financial freedom isn't granted to them by working as an individual. Indeed. Indeed. But on a relationship level, I get both sides though, and I get how women can feel like how can I bask in femininity when I have a 9 to 5 as well? And then I gotta get off from that 9 to 5 and still do all the woman stuff. Like that could be, I know that could be tiring as fuck. Cause just doing the 9 to 5 can be tiring, right? Just as a man, like doing a 9 to 5 and coming home and just wanting to chill. Now you have a woman who still has to do the providing as far as the housework and all that stuff, but she's still going to work. So it's like, we want a traditional woman, but most of us don't have the means to provide in a traditional way, the way that we want to, the way that we were able to in the olden days. Not to mention you used to be able to run a household on one income. And I think that's my biggest point. Like, as a man, like inflation has gotten to such a point to where it's like we both have to work, like in a way, right? So it's hard for women to feel as if they are traditional because they're really not in a position to be traditional. So they have to go work. And then when they get off, we as men, we still want you to cook. We still want you to do the things that you do as a woman, right? So this society has messed up. Like, it's messed up the relationship dynamic. It's not just about the men and women themselves. There are factors that have happened within society that have disrupted the natural flow of men and women, right? So we got to stop blaming each other and start looking at the dynamics of our lives that are changing our relationships with one another. So inflation, that matters, right? Having to work a job, a woman having to work a job when naturally she wants to bask in femininity and cleaning and whatever. I'm not saying just cleaning like you're just a slave, but just the feminine role, right? To make sure that the house is on point, the house that the man is working for, right? But it's hard to do that because the woman's working for it too. So it's crazy. But those of us men who have the ability to do that, we still encounter women who act as if even if you have a woman, right? Like you have a woman and you don't make her work a job. Like she doesn't have to work a job. A lot of those women still act as if they're like so tired, like they can't do the things that you want them to do. And that's why a lot of men are opting out of being with women from the United States. Because if you just listen to them on the internet, you just listen to the average conversation from women on the internet, and you ask them, hey, would you do this for your husband? Would you clean the house? You're like, oh, we can get a maid. It's like, wait, what? We can then I'll marry the maid then. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, why would I have you in my reality? I'm making your life better, right? And you want me, as I'm making your life better, you want me to also pay for a maid. These conversations, sometimes they blow my mind when I be listening to them. Like, there's no way that you actually think that this is okay. You know what I mean? So there has to be some type of give and take when it comes to these relationships. And this is why women are frustrated. This is why men are frustrated, because there's just this clash there, and we're not having open dialogue. We're not actually talking about it in a constructive way, as opposed to saying, well, men this and men then they be cheating, and then with women, it's like, this is all a spiritual thing too. It's like, let's relax for a second so we can actually have a dialogue that makes sense. Yeah. So if you guys have any comments or anything you guys want me to touch on, you can definitely drop it in the comment section. Yeah. I love that you guys be connecting. That's beautiful. Definitely connect with each other. We're all so family. Y'all not just so family with me. Y'all not just coming on here and I'm here and MoonManT is like, your chat, the chat, man. Like we all resonate on the same frequency, the same base frequency, right? Why do IG Live don't get this problem? Because IG Live is built for separation. There's not an algorithm there that's pulling in people from a For You page, so to speak. This has a For You. Our lives show up on the For You page. There's no real when you scroll through Instagram, lives aren't popping up. You have to actually be friends with the person, right? Like it's How about oh yeah, you're talking about, okay. Yeah, man. Okay, so that's why TikTok is king. TikTok is the god of social media. I'm telling you. It's the god of social media, man. And it brings in new people, and that's why I love TikTok so much. It brings in new people from all over the planet. Like other people from Ireland, the UK, all that. It's amazing. I'm just learning the app more. I'm telling you, it has so much. Have you been to any mounds here in the United States? I have not. I mean, I would love to. I mean, I'm definitely going to be traveling and exploring the United States for sure. Definitely going to be traveling and exploring the United States. Got coins yesterday to be able to engage. Thank you so much, man. It's like pulling teeth when you're speaking. Thank you so much. I'm telling you guys, like, I'll be in these lives, like, scrolling past these lives. Like, would you guys just rather me do this all day? All right. Now, when I go into these people's lives and they be the NPCs, they be leaving them motherfucking lives with like $500 just by being NPCs. And it's not, I'm not gonna say it's frustrating, but it's frustrating because when you have something of quality that you're giving off, people tend not to even, they listen, they'll take up and soak up all the information, right? Thank you so much. Oh man, thank you so much. That is love right there. That's somebody that's about that action. That means that you went, you clicked on the link, you read the information, and then you booked. Anybody that wants to book a one-on-one with me, please do so. Right? So it's I'm not saying that it's frustrating, because I know that what I'm giving off is worth it. The energy that I'm giving off to you is gonna be paid back to me tenfold throughout reality. But my point is, when I'm on here and I'm like scrolling and I'm watching, I'm like, yo, they sending gifts after like these gifts is coming galaxies, and I'm like, what are they offering you that is worth that? I think people love to be rocked to sleep, and that's really the problem. I'm here waking people up. The other versions of me that are playing the NPCs are rocking people to sleep, and that's what most people want. So they'd rather get rocked to sleep. They'll give their whole bank account to get rocked to sleep. Look, look, corn. I'm like, yo, no way is this. People are making a living off that. Like, you know what I mean? No knock to them, do y'all thing, but it's just an observation. Like, goddamn, like, what? Do you think there is a right amount of time to wait for someone to get on your level spiritually? Are we talking romantically? Are we talking romantically? You'll be able to sense and feel, if we're talking romantically, yeah. On a romantic level, you'll be able to sense and feel if somebody's on your level, trying to get there, or they're just pretending to stay in your space. You'll know intuitively. You'll feel you're not really doing the work. I know you're not. You're not really thinking about this the way that I'm thinking about this. You're not really expressing it the way that I am. So if you're not, I can't stick around. And eventually you'll begin to get drained, right? Like I tell mine all the time, like, hey, look, I'll just be honest with mine. Like, hey, not saying that she doesn't, but I'm saying I let her know, hey, if you're not going to be on this time, if you're not going to be meditating, if you're not going to be contemplating, if you're not working on yourself, then you can't be around me. Because I have a mission that goes beyond this relationship. I have a mission that goes beyond all the relationships in my life. It's beyond that. Yes, I'm learning from them, but I've even gone beyond the learning from them. I've learned enough. Now it's an inward ride. I realize it's an inward journey. And if the outer world, the different versions of me in the outer world don't match that vibration, then it can't be in my reality, because they're only going to serve to lower my vibration, right? So there we go. So that's one thing. But it is what it is, and you'll find that person or persons. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like I be talking to my girl too. Like, hey, I might want more than one wife. That's just me. You know what I mean? Like, I think all men, to be honest with you, I'm just gonna be honest with you, ladies. Peace. Be honest with you. A lot of men desire to have more than one wife, more than one woman. We just lie to you and say we don't want to. I just want you, only you. It's like, yeah, I want you and I love you dearly. I do. But at the same time, we still desire to have other women, romantically and otherwise, right? I'm just being honest with y'all. Just being honest. My husband didn't want that, and I was the one that asked. We are divorced now. Hey, well, you are a godsend. Because most men, right? I'm just being honest. Most men, although we don't want to be able to have to deal with all the emotions that go along with it, we do want to experience more than one woman. We want to be able to have more than one wife or more than one girlfriend. This is why women say men cheat. Men cheat because we feel as if we can't be honest with you, right? Okay, is the twin flame reunion or in union masculine and feminine thing? I don't think that it's always romantic either, twin flame thing. I don't think it's always purely romantic. I think that these concepts have been too convoluted. And your divine counterpart can be just a friend, like a really, really tightly knit soul that you are here to in a way that it's not always romantic. That's the best way I can put it. It can definitely manifest in a romantic way, for sure, though. There, she said there are totally loyal men. There are many loyal men. I'm a loyal man. Like, I'm only with my woman, but I do voice the truth about, hey, look, I'm a man. You know what I mean? I believe that if women did accept the nature of a man, listen, men would lie less. You only lie when you feel like there's a threat of punishment. Listen, this is just me being honest. Now if I came to you and we first met, right, and I was just like, yo, hey, look, I really dig you. I like you. I would like to date you, right? But I want to have another woman. What would you say? You'd be like, I'm not with that. No, of course. So men say, you know what? Let me just date you, and then have my eyes on other women, basically. And then some men, not all men, but some men act on that impulse. Some men act on it, like, you know what? And I'm not even going. And then this is why women have the conception of men that they do, that all men cheat, because all men feel like they have to lie to you about their feelings that they have about being with other women, right? Our drive to be with other women is a natural it's a body function, right? Same thing with you. It's kind of like the same energy that you feel to procreate. Like, my clock is ticking, like I have to procreate. Men feel like, yo, I gotta create. I need multiple. I gotta create. And this is another thing. Like, as far as I think that women and men, but mostly men, can control their sex drive. They need to control their sex drive more. I believe that men need to. But at the same time, our sex drive is so powerful that if we actually express that sex drive to you, you'd be fucking scared. That's why we feel like, all right, I need another woman. That's what we think. I'm just being honest with y'all. This is how we think. The conversations that we be having, we be like, nah, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, I love my girl. Like, I love my girl. I do. It's my girl. We rocking. But it's that always that but energy. You know what I mean? And it's no offense to you, and it's not that you're inadequate, and it's not that you're not doing something right or you're doing something wrong. That's not the point. You're going to take it personally because you think you're doing something personally wrong, to where you feel like you're not fulfilling your man. So you think I'll do anything to this. It's like, relax. It's not the point. It's not about you, right? If you are fully awake, you would feel a strong magnetic attraction to your soulmate, if you say so. Whatever you say, bud. You were made to multiply. Be fruitful, multiply is what they said, right? And this is why a lot of you see a lot of different religions or different just belief systems where the women accept the fact that men are going to have more than one partner, right? You see that. It just is what it is, because the woman knows the nature of a man, right? Look at relationships back in the day. And this is not to say, like, you know what I mean? Like, but this would take away. See, this is all about transparency and honesty. We feel we can't be transparent and honest. So we, as men, harbor that inwardly. Then we begin to resent you. This is how it works. This is just the nature of things. The same way, if a man wasn't fully supplying you with the things that you desire in your reality, provision, security, safety, those things, right? You would begin to resent them. You love them, but you can't express that I'd just rather have a rich man. You can't express that to them because in that honesty, it would hurt them, right? It's all us hiding what we really want within, which is harboring these feelings of resentment towards each other, instead of us knocking the walls of ego down and actually being able to have a conversation with each other about what we really feel. That's what the union is really about. To be able to really say what you really feel for real, not just in your mind. Because even if you say it in your mind, this is when the energy comes about and that person's like, what are you thinking about? What are you feeling? I feel something weird. Just say it. And we're afraid to say it. Men and women. Men and women, we're afraid to say it, whatever it is. Because we don't want to hurt the other person. We don't want to lose the other person. So we become toxic in the fact that we're not telling the truth and being honest with what we really, really feel, right? And this goes beyond just having another romantic partner or whatever. It goes beyond that. It goes into just simply saying, hey, look, this is how I'm feeling. I don't want you to take it personally. If you do, it's going to make me feel like I can't express myself, right? That's the fear that I can't express myself, right? Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you. Like the live, share the live, give gifts if you feel called to, right? And I'm not saying that women should just accept it. No, that's not the point. At least hear it. Y'all don't even want to hear it. And men, we don't even want to hear it. We don't be wanting to hear what women got to say. We don't want to hear when women say, hey, look, I want a man that's going to provide for me, that's going to make me feel safe. When I hear when men hear the word or the phrase I don't feel safe, we automatically associate it with provision. And that's not what women are talking about all the time. Sometimes they're just talking about, I want to feel safe to speak to you. I want to feel safe to express my feelings to you without you being frustrated about the fact that I feel something, right? And this is what we as men don't get. When we hear the phrase, I don't feel safe. When women say that all the time, I don't feel safe around you. I don't feel safe being with you. We be like, what? I'm here. I got you. If anything happened, I'm providing. They're like, that's not what I mean, right? And it's even hard for women to express that. It's like, that's not what I mean, though. What I mean is that I have these feelings that I know that if I tell you about, you're going to get annoyed because you have all this other stuff on your plate that you don't want to hear this. And yet I have this in me that I want to express to you because you're my partner, right? It's nuts. Intuition keeps me single, I bet. I know, because I'm gonna tell you, like, from my perspective, intuition keeps you single because intuitively you're reading what the person's not saying. They're not saying it because we're all afraid to actually express ourselves to each other, the real us. We only show what we want to others. We only show glimpses of ourselves to even our partners. Like, this is why, like, with my partner, I try my hardest to say the thing that I know I'm saying in my head. And then we have transparent conversations. This is why I love my girl, because we have transparent conversations. The same thing I'm telling y'all, the same thing I'll be saying to her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be honest, like I love women. You know what I mean? Like, I be looking at them. You know what I mean? Like, I be observing them. Not to say I'm gonna go do something, but that's me. You know what I mean? Like, but I love you, and you my lady, and you're beautiful and brilliant and bright and wise. You know? But this is what it is, and I want to convey that to you so that you don't just think I'm just whatever. Let me be honest with you, and the same thing with her. You know, I want her to feel open and honest to be able to speak to me, to be able to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and don't take it personally. And sometimes she has to, like, she's a great mirror. She has to be like, yo, and I'm gonna let you guys, because we have because she's been in Florida for the past couple of weeks with her mom, so we have a joint account channel like YouTube and all that stuff. So we're going to get back on that when we get back to Kemet. So you guys are going to be able to meet her, and we're going to be able to bounce off conversation and have that conversation with you guys. But the point is sometimes she mirrors my wisdom, and she's like, relax, bro. I'm just trying to explain to you how I feel, right? You're taking it personally. You're internalizing it, but in the wrong way. You're internalizing it and then trying to give it back to me like a rebuttal. Don't do that. This is what she has to explain to me. Like, hey, just listen to me. But this is what helps symbiotic relationships and helps it to be open and honest and transparent. And hey, look, this is who we are, right? This is who I am at my core. And I want you to be able to see me for real. And I want you to be able to know that this is how I wish to express myself, right? So if you are like the live, share the live, give gifts if you feel called to, please do. www.MoonManT. I used to have a website. I actually took it down. www.amazon.com. Type in MoonManT. Nah, bro, that's her wisdom. I said she mirrors my wisdom, so it is her wisdom, and her wisdom is my wisdom. It's a mirror. That's why I said what I said. But I guess I see why you took it that way. I said she mirrors my wisdom. That she's wise. I'm not saying she's not wise. I'm saying it's a mirror. She is very wise. Just like if I said, oh, I mirror her wisdom. Oh, same thing. It's a mirror. But I get why you would take it that way, the way I said it. Peace. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, so man, like if you're in a relationship, right? No, you good. It's all love. If you're in a relationship with someone and they're not, listen, I'm telling you, if this is the most important thing as far as us being on earth, is who we choose to be with romantically. Obviously, the most important thing is our inner ride, obviously. But in an externalized fashion, yeah, you can subscribe at the bottom. I don't know if the subscription button is working. Oh, you did it already. Okay, fire. Yes, subscribe at the bottom, y'all, if it allows you to subscribe. This is another way to support me, please. If you can subscribe at the bottom, it's $2.99 a month. This is another way to be able to support me as I travel the world and do what I do, blah, 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 blah. Show you guys. Literally, I'm going to be at the pyramids live streaming. I'm going to be at the Cairo Museum live streaming. We're going to be going to Luxor, Egypt, to be live streaming there. And then eventually we're going to be moving on to Dubai, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to take you guys with me on my travels of timeline hopping, and then eventually I'll return to the United States of America. But yeah, if you are, what about the pyramids over there, over here? Everybody keeps saying that, and nobody's been to these pyramids over here. I mean, I'm sure that they are there. I'm sure that they've probably hidden in their own way, and I do believe that America's the most important landmass on the planet from my perspective. I do believe that, because there's no way that this place isn't important, and they've been poisoning us the way that they've been poisoning us, reversing our minds the way that they've been reversing our minds. So there's definitely something very important about this land. But from my perspective, it's because I'm here, right? God's here, right? And from your perspective, the same. God's here. God's here. That's why it is what it is. So anywhere you go, but the game's over. So it really doesn't matter what landmass you go to, my friends. Listen to me. It's your hologram now. Before, it was that they tried to suppress the one, you. You know? But now you're risen, and no matter where you go, you're going to be alchemizing the reality. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much. Ye are most definitely gods. And I'm trying to tell you. Ye are most definitely gods. In the most literal way. We're good. But this is the beauty of paying your attention to transmissions that help to raise your vibration. You right now, the listener, is paying attention to a version of God in this form, right? That's speaking life into you, right? Helping you remember if you don't already, okay? You could be watching CNN right now. You could be, right? You could be watching the dramas. And that will be pulling you back into the Maya, into the illusion, right? And it's most definitely a spiritual war. What I mean by that is it's a war for your attention. It's a war for your attention, right? So since you're paying attention to this version of you that has nothing but pure intentions for you, nothing but love for you, you're raising your vibration by interacting with this version of you, right? Now, if you were interacting with these other lower vibratory versions of you that have an intention to keep you trapped in your senses, keep you trapped in the illusion, keep you trapped in the Maya, yeah, that's where you would be energetically. And then you'd be helping create reality for them, the system. I'm feeling on the fence for having my child do first communion next year. That reality for me is not a reality at all. So I can't speak on communions and things like that. But you'll know in your heart what you want to do, right? A lot of the things that we do within this reality is based on what we were taught when we got here. We were taught many things, but are all those things morally sound? Are those things spiritually enriching, right? Do they make you feel good about yourself or whatever it is that you're doing? That's really the biggest question, right? And this is not to knock anybody's belief system. Do you. Whatever makes you feel good, all roads lead to the one. Eventually, you cannot escape it. So all roads lead to the one light, the one source, the one creator of all of this. So all is well. Fear is an illusion. Don't do things in fear. Indeed. Agreed, man. Take those leaps of faith. Take those leaps of faith with us. But also, at the same time, if you are afraid, do it. Don't do it out of fear, but if you are afraid, still do it, because this is a dream, right? Life is a dream, and you must face your fear to get over whatever it is that you're afraid of, right? Got to remember with some of these things that just because it's legal, don't make it morally just. Indeed, I agree. And we were born into particular systems that were quote unquote already here, but they were all designed to take you further away from yourself, take you further away from your inner world, and that compass that lives within you, that helps you navigate this reality, that goes beyond what you're hearing from people, from even the books, from even me. Like, don't take anything that I say as the truth, as the gospel, right? Don't take anything that I say, what I'm saying to you is just a perspective of mine from this part of you. Take what resonates and leave the rest. In no way, shape, or form am I telling you that I'm just the truth and that's all there is. I'm just letting you know what I've gathered through my journey, right? And if it resonates with you, fine. If it doesn't, fine. Yeah, we bend light with sound, indeed, in many different ways, in many different modalities that we use to move matter out of our way in the dream reality that we exist in. So we're powerful entities, and I think that's what we're feeling. What we're feeling is how powerful we really are. Like the live, share the live, give gifts if you feel called to. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. If this has done anything for you in any way, shape, or form, and you feel called to donate, this is what I do for a living. So if you do feel called to donate in any way, you can do that. Inner work in undertone. Peace, indeed. Thank you for your perspective, King. Thank you. All right, so here we go. The more we, peace. The more that we ignore the old movie, the louder the old movie becomes. It's just the nature of it. And it's as if it knows. It's like surveillance for sure, because it knows what can tick you off. It knows what can trigger you. Shit just knows. Like, it should just be like, I know what's going to piss him off. I know what's going to piss her off. And that's why I say spiritual attacks within the physical, right? Like, legitimately, like, sent to you to see if you're going to get mad. The more you get to know yourself, the more you will grow indeed. So this goes for things that pull out your heartstrings, whether it be particular wars or whether it be hurricane, whatever it is in the reality that the Matrix knows that you're going to react to, will be played. That card will be dealt to see if you're going to do that, right? To see if you're going to be like, what the fuck? Oh my God, The more you do that, the more you're validating the illusion. From this moment right now, all that exists is your bubble of consciousness. Everything else is being projected into that bubble to see if you're going to feel a way about it. And then when you do, you create it to be real for you. That's the game you're in. Literally, like somebody commented on one of my videos and said it perfectly. It was so fire. It was like, it's like my player. Like, for real, like, it's like Sims, like my player. The whole focus of the reality is on you. It's like, and it's not an ego thing. It's a consciousness thing. That the one consciousness is playing every role, and you're that one consciousness looking through the aperture of the body. Like I said, like a telescope almost, and that one consciousness, and we're all that telescope, right? We're all individual telescopes, and there's one consciousness, one awareness looking through. So yes, from your perspective, this is your world. It's your reality. So what comes on the screen of life, you ever experienced, like, this is the cosmic joke. I experience it every day. This is the joke itself. The joke that you are something. You're no thing. You're everything. You're energy. I can't even say everything because there is no thing. It's energetic. So the experience itself of being a thing is the joke. The experience of being separate from me, the trees, life, your dreams, that's the joke. That you're not, that the real play is that everything's not already done. When in all reality, it's all done, and you're just choosing from realities to experience. From my perspective, not saying it, whatever. Like the live, share the live, give gifts if you feel called to. Please support me in that way. www.themoon. I keep saying themoonmant.com. I actually got rid of that website. www.amazon.com. All of this is in my bio. So the link tree is in my bio. You click the link tree. Once you get to the link tree, everything MoonManT appears, and you'll be able to be into my universe. You can book a one-on-one session with me. If you feel called to, man, I'm telling you, these sessions are worth it, man. You can talk about crypto. We can talk about what happened with your mom last week. I don't know, whatever it is that you want to talk about, that you might want to pick my brain about. Separate from TikTok. Do you think AI is a sort of universal parasite? No. I think that everything is everything. I think everything is going to serve its purpose. It's all about how the human soul, how the consciousness that is creating all of this shit interacts with it. So we're going to integrate all of these things within our reality. But what the matrix controlled system wants to do is to overhaul human consciousness with these particular technologies. So everything within what we call the matrix is designed to mimic and mirror, not only mimic and mirror, but take over the human being, take over the consciousness of the human being, right? But we're the creators. It's over. That game is over. We see right through the Tesla and the Elon. I see right through them. Like, I already, I'm going to Mars. Like, okay, you're gonna visit a third dimensional Mars because you're a third dimensional being. You're gonna be in the dimension that you're in, regardless of where you think you're gonna go, or what you think you're gonna do. We are in control now. Yeah, the fifth dimensional entities, avatars, us. We are writing the story as the old one plays out, but you keep thinking that they have the power, so you look towards them and you're like, wow, man, they're about to create some AI shit, man. What are you gonna do? You're gonna fucking relax. What you need to do, because in the relaxing, you're creating a relaxed reality. The only power they have is to make you feel some type of way. And then when you feel some type of way, you're helping them create reality. They're like ghosts with bodies. They're demons with bodies, spirits with bodies. They do the same thing that the spirits without bodies do. Boo! To scare you. And if you feel away, boom, they got you. I give the same example, right? I give the example with scary movies. When you watch